Hi students, in this video we shall discuss about sexual reproduction from the lesson Reproduction in Organisms. What is sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is a kind of reproduction where two parents, that is opposite sex, participate in the reproductive process and also involves the fusion of male and female gametes. Sexual reproduction involves formation of the male and female gametes either by same individual or by different individual of the opposite sex. These gametes fuse to form the zygote, which develops into new organisms. Because of the fusion of male and female gametes, sexual reproduction results in offsprings that are not identical to the parents or among themselves. What are the phases in sexually reproducing organisms, children? All organisms have to reach a certain stage of growth and maturity in their life before they can reproduce sexually. There are four phases in sexually reproducing organisms, that is juvenile phase, vegetative phase, reproductive phase or maturity phase, senescent phase. What is juvenile phase? In animals, period of growth between their births up to their reproductive maturity is called juvenile phase. Juvenile phase is of variable duration in different organisms. Vegetative phase, in plants, the period of growth between seed germination up to the initiation of flowering is called vegetative phase. Reproductive phase or maturity phase, when the organisms start reproducing sexually, it is called reproductive phase. The next is senescent phase. It is the last phase of the lifespan. This is characterized by deterioration of metabolic activities of the body that ultimately terminates death. In plants, senescent phase is characterized by yellowing of leaves that ultimately leads to the death of plants. Based on the lifespan, there are three types of plants. The first is annuals, biennials and perennials. Annuals are nothing but the plants living for only one growing season, that is pertaining to a year. They start flowering at the end of the season. Clear children, annuals are the plants which live for the duration of 1 year. Biennials complete their life cycles within 2 years. They start flowering in second year of growth. Both annuals and biennials die after flowering and they have three clear-cut phases as vegetative, reproductive and senescent phases. Whereas perennials, the plants that live for a number of years, woody perennial trees and shrubs, have a permanent aerial form which continues to grow year after year. In perennials, it is very difficult to clearly define these three phases, that is vegetative, reproductive and senescent phase. What are the reproductive phases in animals? The reproductive phase is of variable duration in different organisms. We have seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. Seasonal breeders, these are the animals which reproduce only during favorable season. Examples, frog, lizard, etc. And continuous breeders, these are the animals actively reproduce throughout their reproductive phase. Example, rabbit, man, etc. Then we have reproductive cycles, children. The cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive systems of female, that is mammals, is called as reproductive cycle. Clear children, the cyclic changes that occur in the female reproductive systems of female, and this occurs in the mammals, we call it as reproductive cycle. There are two types of reproductive cycles, that is ostrous cycle and menstrual cycle. Ostrous cycle is a sexual or reproductive cycle in sexually matured non-primate females. Examples, cow, sheep, etc. And menstrual cycle, the periodic cycle or the periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates. Examples, monkeys, apes and human. We see this type of menstrual cycle. Clear children, menstrual cycle is the periodic series of changes that occur in the female reproductive system of primates. So what is the difference between menstrual cycle and ostrous cycle, children? Menstrual cycle occurs in primates and ostrous cycle occurs in non-primates. Endometrium corrodes or involves shedding of endometrium wall in case of menstrual cycle, and in ostrous cycle no shedding of endometrium wall, and bleeding occurs in menstrual cycle, whereas in ostrous cycle bleeding does not occur. Understood, children? I hope you have understood the concept of sexual reproduction. See you in the next video. Thank you.